Hey everybody, this is Jewelyn. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my home here in Santa Monica, California, and welcome to my very fun monthly series, Pot of Fame, which I have now done this with my collection for over a year now. So if you're interested in watching my Pot of Fame, you will see my homepage. I do have a playlist of all of my Pot of Fames. I probably have now well over 12 episodes. I think I'm going into almost my second year of doing this very fun series where I sit down in a casual environment and share with you a handful of babies that are doing really good. Currently, right now, it is July 1st. Where did the time go? I am not too sure, but I am going to share with you a handful of babies that did well for me in the month of June, and there's some cute little blooms in today's video, so thumbs up the video if you guys enjoy me spotlighting a handful of babies every month. Here is the first baby. This is my Hawaiian spider plant. I pretty much have all varieties of the spider plant, and I just love this plant so much. And this is the newest growth right here. This happened while I was away in Las Vegas, and the interesting thing is, like, take a look at the babies. Like, the variegation in it is so interesting. Like, I've never seen anything. Let me bring it up close so you can see. I've never seen anything like this before produced from my collection, and I'll share with you what the original babies look like. So here's the original babies. As you see, they're pretty big, and I'm trying to think if I ever took from this plant. Maybe I might have gave one baby to a plant friend of mine, but I have never propagated from this plant. This plant for me is not as common as my other spider plants in my collection, so this one is very special to me, and I don't know if and when I'll go ahead and start propagating from this, but it is just absolutely adorable, and I needed to highlight these babies. And I think what made the plant produce more babies for me is changing the environment. Now, my Hawaiian spider plant was actually living behind me on this vintage spiral, a plant stand with my other spider plant, which you see back there. But for whatever reason, I decided to put it into a bigger planter right before I left to Las Vegas, and I decided to move it against my patio in a shaded area, and for whatever reason, switching it into a larger planter and putting it in a different part of my patio. So this mother plant decided to produce little cute babies for me while I was away. Like, how adorable is that? But these particular babies here on the side have been living on the mother plant for a while. I actually see a little baby here popping off. So cute. Take a look at that. Here it is, a little baby right here. But I absolutely love the Hawaiian spider plant. I love the vibrant green colors, but like, it's producing these bright variegated spider babies. It is absolutely stunning. Comment down below if you have this particular spider plant and does it produce a lot of babies for you, and have you had babies pop up with like bright yellowing in it in its variegation. It is stunning. So I probably might use this plant for my thumbnail. It is so cute. House plant theme, I want to give a shout out to my string of turtles, my rare Peperomia. This might be rare in your part of the world. Sound off in the comments if it's common or rare where you live. Do you have it? Do you find it to be fairly expensive? This is the current condition of mine. It's living in my nursery planter. I just don't want to touch it right now, and I'll probably transplant it into a nice planter maybe next year when I see it produce more growth. As you can see, there are tons of baby turtles popping up, but I want to wait a little bit more before I go ahead and transplant it into another planter. This plant is currently living in my patio in the shaded area, and for whatever reason, it is loving life. It's just not where I want it to be. So until then, I'm just gonna keep it in this nursery planter, and eventually I'll plant it up in an upcoming planting with Jewelyn. I try to share any plants that are giving me blooms at the time of my Pot of Fames, and this is one of my angel wing begonias, and it's producing these cute little blooms, which I'm gonna actually take and preserve and do some art with it. So I'll take these probably today after I get pictures of it. But it's one of my favorite blooms in my collections. It's very dainty and girly. I preserved one of its blooms when it opened up, and it dried pretty nicely, so I'm gonna take these two today after I snap photos of it, and then I'll do something cute with it in resin. I love the spotted leaves. This currently lives next to my fountain, next to the ferns, and in that shady lush area. and I want to say it's doing pretty good. I've had this begonia for a couple of years now, and this might be one of my original begonias. It's not at its peak potential. I've seen it more lush in previous years, but I'm not mad at it, and it's producing me blooms. So I think I'm gonna continue to keep it behind me in the fountain section because it likes that environment next to the ferns. They kind of just all hug each other, and I have it in a plastic plant. A very fun bathroom plant update. I call it the bathroom plant because it lives in the bathroom. This is my Philodendron Maximum. I love this plant. As you can see, it is producing lots of new growth. This is its new unfurled leaf right here. And then we have more growth here. So I'm probably gonna wanna stake it up sooner than later because it is giving me tons of growth. As you can see, this is also a fairly new leaf as well, nice and shiny. But maybe I will go ahead and stake it up on a future live because I think it's time. I think it is time. It's absolutely adorable. This is my favorite thrifted planter in my whole collection. This planter came from a thrift shop in Arizona. I did a bunch of thrifting while I was there for 3 months about 2 years ago, and I love this plant a lot. But for whatever reason, it loves my bathroom environment. The humidity and the diffuse lighting is doing good for Here is a Los Angeles plant show baby. I have to look in my notes to see what the ID of this one is, but take a look. All of these little leaf growth is new, and I'm trying to think if it produces flowers or if it ever did, but definitely I think once since I've had it in my collection, it produced these cute little leaves. It's absolutely adorable. If you know the ID, sound off in the comments down below. It's living life on one of my little plant stands that my subscriber gave me, the ladder plant stand, and it's loving life in the front of my home. So cute. It is so adorable. There is a little baby down here as well, so we'll see when it starts producing more growth, but I'm really happy about it. One of my favorite updates of my collection coming back into my space yesterday was seeing the tiny little leaves pop up from these things. These plant babies are so interesting, and that's one thing that I'm definitely going to be missing this year, is being able to go to plant shows and things like that where I can get these weird, interesting, funky babies, because where the collection is at right now with 600 or so plants, it's very hard for me to go to a regular nursery and get excited unless I go to like a specialty plant show where they get these weird, interesting babies for sale. And I just love the weird ones. So shout out to my little guy for producing these cute little leaves. So cute. Very fun update from one of the plant babies that my subscriber in Temecula gifted me when I went over to her house. If you haven't watched my Plant Friends series, go ahead and check it out. I have lots of content for you guys to watch, over 600 videos. And this Ripsalis was given to me not in the greatest condition, but I took it anyway because I really wanted this as part of my collection. And Ripsalises, when you purchase them, they look good and they look not so good, and you kind of just buy them and then nurse them back to its full potential. With that being said, take a look at this new leaf that it produced. There it is. It is so cute. So that means it's loving life here in my space. I just have it in a terracotta planter from my other subscriber, and stay tuned for more updates and growth on this particular Ripsalis. I absolutely love it. So just a very fun update from one of the plant babies from my Another fun update on a plant baby that was gifted to me from a plant friend many years ago. And I don't know the ID of this one. He's weird and interesting. I'm gonna have to like look in my phone on my notes. But look, it's finally producing babies. You guys see that? Isn't that interesting? Like, he's never done anything for me all these years until now. So cute. So thumbs up the video for this guy producing some new growth finally, because I've had you now in my collection for, I want to say, maybe 3 years, and it finally produced babies for me. So that's interesting. And a terracotta planter living in the front of my home. He just looks old and prehistoric, kind of weird and interesting. Almost looks like the pine cone cactus, but it's not. It's cute though. One plant in today's video that is semi-hydro, and I guess you could say it's a testimonial plant because It's doing so good, converted into semi-hydro. I've now traveled twice since I converted this plant baby to leca, and I have not had any problems coming back days later, and the plant is still thriving and actually producing a lot of new growth. Prior to having this plant in soil, when I traveled for a couple of days coming back, it produced a lot of browning leaves and it just drooped and looked really awful. It stressed me out every time I would travel. But now in a semi-hydro, it is doing really good. Let me share with you the update. My variegated peace lily. I want to give a shout out to this one for producing me lots of new growth. I'll give it a spin so you can see. So if you look on the bottom here, lots of babies. I mean, the whole bottom section, look at that variegated leaf right there. So all of these small little leaves on the bottom of this mother plant is all new growth since I converted it to semi-hydro. And then if you look in here as well, all this is new growth. These leaves are new growth. And if you look at the condition of the plant, look at how perky it is. It's standing up to its highest potential. There is a lot of leaves that had to be trimmed off because they were just brown and looking awful. Since it got converted to leca, it is now living its best life. Do you guys believe that? Like, honestly, take a look at it. And if you look, it is about, I want to say a third filled with water. So this is kind of like where I like to have the water sit in my semi-hydro babies. But when I do travel for a handful of days, I'll fill it up to the top. And I've never, in the last 2 trips since I've converted this plant, had problems with having the water vessel filled up that much with water. And actually it drank half of it, and it was just interesting to see how much water this plant takes. And this was actually living in the bathroom while I was away for the humidity in the bathroom. But isn't that such a great update on this peace lily? So if you are having problems, as I like get eaten from my peace lily here, as I like try to see you guys through my peace lily, if you ever have any problems with finicky houseplants, try to convert it in semi-hydro and see how it does, because like all of my variegated pothos that I've struggled with, like my Marble Queen and my Pothos and Joy, now live full-time in semi-hydro in this leca setup, and I've never had any problems. Speaking of variegated babies, this is a very fun update. And finally, my very expensive investment in the collection that I purchased with 2 leaves finally is giving me some kind of activity, showing me signs of love, that it's happy living in my space. Thank goodness. Say hello to my Monstera albo baby. It's here, guys. Like, how fantastic is this? Because this was not producing anything for this whole time I've had it. So there's the baby. So stay tuned for an unfurled leaf in the near future. I love this plant a lot. I have it living inside of my home with my other house plants that is on my like DIY shelf. So it does get some natural sunlighting from my one window in my home. But from time to time, I do bring it out in the patio to get natural sunlighting. And when I travel, it goes into my shower and gets the diffuse lighting and the humidity. So with the diffuse lighting and the humidity on it, when I travel in the bathroom, living in the shower, like for whatever reason, the combination of the things I'm doing is making it finally produce a new baby for me. So thank you to my Monstera albo finally for producing some growth, because I'm like, okay, I've had you now for several months and you have like 0 activity. With that being said, just give your plant babies some time. I know, like for me, sometimes I'm like, you have not produced anything for me, and what am I doing wrong here? But in actuality, it's just slow growing. So give your variegated babies some time. To wrap up today's video, I want to share with you my Hoyas that are currently blooming, because I'm about to take all of the blooms off and preserve it into silica and eventually put it into some kind of art piece in resin. So stay tuned for that. I want to share with you my original Hoya Bella first, and then we'll go to see my second. Hoyas, for the most part, except maybe a few living in leca in my studio, they're all living in my patio, which is the perfect environment for Hoyas. Like, take a look at that. Do you guys see all of the blooms? gonna like have a moment of silence for this. It is such a stunning plant. This hangs on the side of my patio, doing so well. I absolutely love Hoyas. I love the blooms on it. It's just, if you haven't had a Hoya in your collection and you come across one, I suggest maybe purchasing one. And you know, who knows, maybe one of these days it'll bloom for you and then you can really appreciate the Hoyas in your collection. But I still love the foliage. I think they're so cute. So that's my original Hoya Bella. I will repurchase plant babies multiple times if I really love them so much. You will see them throughout my space and different parts of the collection being styled. With that being said, I do have a second Hoya Bella, and if you've been watching my Instagram stories on Planting with Jewelyn, I've been kind of just showing the progress on it. And stay tuned because I am documenting the life cycle of the blooms on my Hoya Bellas for a Meet My Plant episode. I like doing that to showcase the blooms that come through my space. And now with me getting into creating art with my blooms, it's another avenue of me being able to create fun things with the blooms that come through my space. Here is my second Hoya Bella. Love this thing so much. I mean, this whole plant is producing blooms. So I'm looking forward to creating art with them. I mean, take a look. They're just absolutely perfect. And now that I'm preserving them, like I can just do more than just take a picture of them and then watch them die. I am now having fun with producing. So now I'm having a lot of fun being able to preserve and showcase my blooms, and they'll just kind of live forever. So very fun update on this Hoya Bella. Last plant in today's video is an update of my Hoya Multiflora. I already created an art piece with the first set of blooms, which I really love the way how it turned out. And this just probably opened up for me very recent, like probably today or yesterday. Take a look at that cute little bloom there. And then if you look here, there should be more blooms popping up. And then back here as well. So very fun to see these plant babies produce blooms for me. I get super excited now because I can do things with the blooms and it'll just be something nice for me to cherish, and I can even sell them and also gift them as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed another pot of fame. Sound off in the comments down below what plants have given you growth for the month of June and any of your favorites that I shared in today's video. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Subscribe for daily uploads between the main channel Monday to Thursday and the vlog channel Friday to Sunday. You get a video each and every day. Until next time, aloha from Santa Monica, California. Bye!